What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, I'm doing race picks for the Goodyear 400. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. This weekend, the NASCAR Cup Series heading to Darlington race for the first of second times here for the Darlington Throwback Race. This, of course, is the 400-mile event from Darlington for the spring event. This track is known for eating up tires, and a track that is known for being a driver's track, and I do think that we're going to see a lot of attrition this weekend. That's one thing to watch this weekend with the next-gen car, as we do reach the third point of the season right after this weekend. We'll be a third of the way through the NASCAR Cup Series season. Man, this season has flown by very, very quickly. So let's go ahead and jump into picks. Before we go ahead and jump into picks, let's take a look at the weather for this weekend. So the weather for this weekend actually looks really, really promising at this moment. Keep this in mind, it's Tuesday going to Wednesday when I'm recording this. Right now, it's supposed to be 75 degrees as a high with 52 degrees as a low, with partly cloudy skies, with right now only a 20% chance of rain. Rain could be a factor later or weight. That might be a big factor. It might change, but I don't know if it will be. We'll have to wait and see if we have a factor similar to what we had at Dover this past weekend. But now, finally, let's jump into picks. So for those who are new to the channel, here's how picks work on my channel. I do two suck picks, two drivers who I think are going to continue to struggle, or two drivers in Ramble where I think are going to struggle. Two underdogs, two drivers have been on a hot streak, or two drivers that will have a good weekend, that have needed a good run. And then, of course, to do my winner's pick, the driver I think is going to overall win the race at Darlington. And I also do the ones to watch where I have five drivers you need to keep your eyes out on for this weekend here at Darlington. So now, let's get into picks. Who are my suck picks for this weekend here at Darlington International Raceway? My first suck pick is a guy who's absolutely struggled here at Darlington Raceway throughout the few years he's ran in the NASCAR Cup Series. On top of that, this season for this guy, he only has one top 5 and one top 10 this season. And really ever since then, he has struggled. He's only really not been running up front throughout this year. This team overall has been struggling, and I expected more out of this driver considering it's his second year with this team. I expected more. I'm going Bubba Wallace as my first suck pick. Like I mentioned, Bubba Wallace, he has absolutely struggled this year. I've not seen anything come out of that 23 car this season. It just seems like that 23 car has really taken a major step backwards this year. I don't know what's going on with 2311, but Bubba Wallace has been struggling this season, and he's got to work on some of those issues he's been having to start the season. My other suck pick for this weekend is a teammate of Bubba Wallace, and is Kirk Bush. Kirk Bush this season has also absolutely struggled, really since the beginning of the year, when he really started to start off on a really good note, where he was really running up front in many, many races and was finishing up front. At one point did have the best average finish, and at one point was the only driver under a 10th place average finish. Has really fallen from grace here the last 5 or 6 weeks, and he hasn't ran great here at Darlington the last couple times either, so I'm not really expecting much out of Kirk Bush this weekend. I unfortunately think Kirk Bush is going to struggle, and I really wasn't expecting that, considering him and Bubba do have some really good look at throwback schemes this year, but I really think that Kirk Bush is also going to struggle here this weekend here at Darlington. And now we're going to jump onto the underdog picks. Who are my underdog picks for this weekend? My first underdog pick is a guy that really needs to make up a ton of ground in the points currently at the moment, especially after that major points penalty he got. But over the last 5 or 6 races, this guy has only finished once outside the top 20. On top of that, like I said, his consistency. On top of that as well, he has been historically really, really good here at Darlington, and I think he's going to have another strong run here at Darlington. I know the spring race didn't go as well, but the fall race, he was up front and contending for a top 5 and top 10. And he also does have a win here in 2018 for the throwback race. I'm talking about Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski has been extremely quick at points this year, but has also struggled at points this season. But I think Brad Keselowski, especially this being a town base and a driver's track, I think with his championship caliberness that Brad Keselowski has, I think Brad Keselowski will contend for a top 10 finish. He has not been able to score top 10 since the Daytona 500, but I think he's got a shot at getting a top 10 this weekend at Darlington. My second underdog pick is a guy that's been really, really quietly having a really, really strong year, and now is currently in the NASCAR Cup Series Plus, which coming into the season, I did not think this guy was going to be as good as he's been, but this team has been one of the biggest shocks and biggest surprises so far throughout the 2022 season, and like I mentioned, they're now currently in the playoffs. On top of that, this guy has been extremely quick this last few weeks, and we're especially good at this track before. Talking about a guy who's also won here in the Southern 500 2019, Erik Jones. Eric Jones has been really, really good here the last few weeks. I've been so impressed with that 43 team. If it's not for some of the bad finishes they have, they are in the playoffs convincingly right now. They're only a few points in the playoffs, but it just shows that Eric Jones the last few weeks has been really improving. And this is the first time that the 43 team has been performing really, really well. And I think Eric Jones is going to continue that hot streak, and I think Eric Jones is going to have a great run this weekend in the throwback race. And now we're going to jump onto the winner's pick for this weekend here at the Darlington Throwback Race. Who is my winner's pick? My winner's pick is a guy who's still looking for his second win of the 2022 season. I think we're going to get a repeat winner this season. And I look at this guy because he's been really, really fast here the last couple times. He finished second in the spring. He finished second in the fall. In 2019, he was up front. I think he finished in the top 5 at the top. I think he finished second in the throwback race in 2019 for the Southern 500. He dominated in 2018. He's just been so close to winning races here. I think with it being such a more of a talent-based track, I think this guy is going to have a very strong run. And I think that Kyle Larson is finally going to get that second victory of the 2022 season. Kyle Larson this year has not been as good as he's been in past seasons, but I think that Kyle Larson is going to come off the corner, and I believe he will be your winner this weekend at Darlington. I think he picks up his second victory in the 12th running and for sure locks his way up into the playoffs. We're going to jump onto the ones you need to watch out for this weekend for the throwback race. Who are the ones you need to keep your eyes on? We got 6 drivers you need to keep your eyes out on for this weekend, so let's jump into that. Who is the first driver you need to keep your eyes out on for the Darlington throwback race? The first guy you need to keep your eyes on is a guy that's looking for his first ever Darlington victory. He's come close the last couple times here at Darlington and has shown a ton of pace in the past year in the Darlington throwback race. And he just won the most recent race at Dover where he has a ton of momentum, and he is currently the points leader in the NASCAR Cup Series. Talking about Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott has been extremely fast this season. He's been really, really consistently running really, really well. And that's why he currently is the points leader in the NASCAR Cup Series. I think Chase Elliott can have another strong run, and I think that Chase Elliott will be a contender to win this weekend in the Darlington throwback race. A second driver to keep your eyes on is a guy that's absolutely had a horrendous year. He only has 1 top 5 and 1 top 10 this season. But we're coming to one of his best tracks. And the last time we raced here, when we did the Southern 500, he won that race and got his first win of 2021 season. I think this guy will finally have a good run. I'm not expecting him to win, but I think he's going to contend for a top 5. I'm talking about Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin really needs to have a good run this weekend. Only 1 top 5 and 1 top 10 for the first 11 races, and says 23rd in the points. I think that's going to happen for him this weekend. I don't think he's going to win, but I think he'll contend for victory this weekend in the throwback race. A third driver to keep your eyes on is a guy that's kind of unclear what his future is going to be after this season. And he's been quietly putting together a really strong season, currently sitting 7th in the points. Yes, he's not been up front every single week this year, but he's been up there and consistent enough to be in the top 10 in points and be guaranteed at this point safe to make it to the playoffs unless we get a ton of different guys winning races with only 7 spots to go. But this guy, 7 point, I think is going to win, and I think he'll be a contender to win. I think Mark Truex Jr. definitely has a shot at contending for a victory this year in the throwback race. The fourth driver you keep your eyes on is a guy that's kind of had a lot of struggles here the last 2 weeks in the NASCAR Cup Series. But we're going to one of this guy's best racetracks, whether it's the Xfinity Series or the Cup Series or the Truck Series. Regardless of what series comes here, he's always been really, really fast. And he's going to be running the Xfinity Series race as well to get some help there and help in big machine racing. I think Tyler Redick is going to be a contender this weekend. I think he's got an absolute shot. It would not surprise me, especially with experience he had and all the testing he's done. It would not surprise me if Tyler Redick is a major, major contender this weekend. I think he's got a shot to get it done. It would not surprise me if he's got a shot at it. I really think he does. So I think Tyler Redick will be a contender here this weekend in the throwback race. The fifth driver you need to keep your eyes on is a guy that has been performing extremely well here over the last 5 weeks. As a matter of fact, this guy has the best average finish in the last 5 races with a 5.4 and does have a win at Bristol Dirt. On top of that, this driver also has shown a lot of pace and a lot of speed here at Darlington throughout the years, and I think he will be a contender. He had a shot to win the spring race last year. Kyle Busch is the next one. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be really, really big contender. I think he could have a shot of getting a second win of the year. That's one thing we'll watch to see, but I think Kyle Busch will be a threat to win this weekend in the throwback race. And the final driver you need to keep your eyes on for this weekend here in the throwback race is a guy who's really been the biggest surprise to me so far of this season. With already 2 wins this year, and really showing no signs of weaknesses, with having the most top 5s of anybody in the Cup Series with 7 right now. This guy's always a threat to win every single week. Ross Chastain. It would not surprise me if he does win this weekend. He's been extremely quick, had probably one of the best cars of this past race at Dover. We won at Talladega. He's looking really, really strong once again. It would not shock me if we do see Ross Chastain pick up his 3rd victory 2022. I think he's going to be a threat this weekend. So anyway, those are my picks for the Goodyear 400. Just a reminder, my suck picks are Bubba Wallace and Kirk Bush. My underdogs are Brad Keselowski, Eric Jones. My winner's pick is Kyle Larson. And the ones to watch are Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Mark Truex Jr., Tyler Reddick, Kyle Busch, and Ross Chastain. Those are the ones you need to watch out for as well. So anyway, that is going to be it for the picks video for the Goodyear 400. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notification on to be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's schedule below over that and comment your picks below for this weekend here at Darlington. How many you think is going to struggle? Tell me you think is going to be underdog picks, and tell me who you think is going to win this weekend here for the Darlington Throwback Race. And also let me know who you're keeping an eye out on for this weekend in the Darlington Throwback Race. Let me know that in the comments below. Not entirely sure what's going to be coming out on the channel tomorrow. I'm not really sure at this point. It might be the look at all those paint schemes, but I really don't know if it'll come out until Friday. I may release that Friday, but if there's not a lot of news over the next couple of days, then I'll release that on Thursday, and then there'll be a news video on Friday. So keep your notification tabs on, because that might be coming out. So anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys next time for some of your awesome NASCAR and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.